Us though, the real estate market crash of 2020 is coming. 2021 is coming. And do you believe that there's a market crash, LU?
No.
Probably not.
I think
I'm a real estate
might
agent.
be a little stagnant and not have crazy growth, but I don't necessarily think that's a crash. I don't think we're going to go in the reverse direction.
Yeah, interestingly enough, it looks like real estate is probably just more undervalued than actually going into a crash. I mean, if you see here, we're using Redfin Data, the United States housing market data, and home prices nationwide went up 14% year over year. Let's look at the 1 year chart. Yeah.
And if you look at other things like Bitcoin and the stock market, they've been booming, right? There's been a lot of percentage growth there.
Right.
So it's really easy to compare it to real estate and be like, oh, wow, real estate hasn't really been doing much. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing. And that's not necessarily a crash either.
I mean, yeah, if we look at the at least the S&P. Actually, you know what? I don't need to even go to the S&P 500. If you just look at our shirts, this is the shirts basically show. This is the 2020 data. If you could just do the pointers. So as you can see, we took the fat dip and it just kept going up.
This is January. This is March when COVID happened. And now here we are.
And so as you can tell, the growth is tremendous. This is the NASDAQ. I believe this is the S&P 500 and this is the Dow. And so the growth is crazy in 2020, both for Bitcoin
cryptocurrencies in general.
And cryptocurrencies in general, the
Bitcoin
stock market
hit 28,000, I think, today or yesterday.
It did hit
28,000. That is a crazy record.
Yeah.
Considering its highest was 20 back in 2017, December 2017.
And so we're only 14% up year over year. The median sale price of a home is $335,519.
Yeah.
And the number of homes sold has increased.
Is this Miami?
No, this is the United States. We'll go to Miami in a little bit.
Okay.
And I mean, there's so many things contributing to this, from low interest rates for mortgages, the desire for people to move out of condos in large cities and coming into single family homes.
Because there's more remote workers.
All that stuff. And I mean, but if you look at some of these cities, Detroit, 41% growth, the 10 metro areas with the fastest growing sales price. And this is basically list price to sale price, based from last year. So ultimately, the fastest growing ones have been Detroit. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, interestingly enough, has grown 38.2%. I mean, that's absolutely insane.
Which makes sense. Fort Lauderdale is right north of Miami, for those of you who don't know.
Now, they're not as crazy as the electric vehicle returns that we've been seeing. Like, we have Plug Power that's up 1,000%. I mean, so
or Blink, the charging stations company, that's up 24,000%. 2,400. Sorry, 2,400.
2,004. Okay, yeah, I was about to say 24,000. I was like, whoa, where did I totally missed out? And they're a Miami-based company, Blink Charging, but still 41.6, 38.2% here. I mean, these are staggering numbers, right? And they're really big, but you can kind of see they're undervalued. And the big reason, another aspect aside from low interest rates, is the inventory, the months of supply. It looks like there's only 1.6 months of supply year over year. That's like 1.5 less months from last year. And so that's a huge difference.
But with low supply comes really high demand.
Exactly. The demand is steady. So there's no crash really for 2021. There's a lot more buyers out here.
It's looking hopeful.
Now, there is a challenge here for first-time home buyers. Homes sold above list price. And, Ellie and I have been looking at purchasing a home for investment purposes. We're starting a fund.
We want a headquarters.
And we also want
a Batman layer, really.
And diversification in the Batman layer, exactly. We do. Man, I love Batman. I really do love Batman. But we're looking at diversifying our portfolios. But look, the home sold above list price, meaning so if I'm selling this phone for $1,000, 13.6 there's 34.9% are being sold above list price. So that means around a third of people selling, let's say, an iPhone for $1,000 are getting 13% above list price, or they're just selling more than what I'm selling it. So it might be 1,500 that I'm selling. So a third of people selling homes at the price they're listing it at are getting more than what they're asking for.
Which is weird to think about, because normally when you think of like buying an item, it depreciates in value. So you think you're going to be selling it for a lot less than what you bought it for, but not in this case.
Not for real estate either.
Real estate,
I mean, land value appreciates. You know, they're not making any more land. You know, you don't wait to buy real estate. You buy real estate and wait. And so home prices it's a bummer for first-time home buyers like us, but there's really still ways to get in it. However, there's light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, we live in Miami, so let's look at Miami's housing data. So this is all the vicinity of Miami over here, and the average price, or the median price, sale price, is $355,000, right? So compared to the United States, it's a little bit higher, from $335,000 to $355,000.
Still not that bad for a city like Miami.
Still not that bad. And since last year, it's only gone up 9.2%, as opposed to the national United States average of 14%. Mm-hmm. It's a good opportunity to come to Miami, where there's a lot of sun, there's no income tax, and ultimately the restrictions for the virus that we're not going to mention are very much less heavy here.
It's also just a clean, overall great city to live in.
It is indeed. It is indeed.
A lot of culture. I mean, we are a melting pot of worldwide tourists and residents from different continents. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's interesting. We have a lot of beautiful people here, from a lot of diversity, many great ideas, and 3.7% of these homes are being sold under the list price. So meaning that you're bound to get deals, which is great. So some of the other stats here: hot homes can sell for around list price and go pending in around 24 days. The average homes sell for about 4% below list price and go pending in around 62 days. So, you know, and then there's some beautiful homes here, 6% under list price in the million range, $664,000 range. Condos are doing great. I mean, the schools are 10 out of 10. Look at these schools. So, I mean, Miami's doing great. Transportation, very walkable. Horrible metro rail service. I mean, but still, like,
honorable mention there.
Honorable mention, but still great walkability.
And so there's also the concern about COVID and how that's affecting the industry, and how 2021 might be full of evictions and foreclosures. But ever since 2008, I think, you know, we've established good systems to avoid that ever happening again.
Right.
I don't think the government's going to let people lose their homes or get put on the street that easily, you know. I mean,
especially now with the stimmy that we just reloaded. I mean, that included eviction moratoriums and also foreclosure forbearances and stuff. I mean, the government, the great thing about the United States is that they want you to succeed, especially how Ellie, you said, after 2008 and us going through that whirlwind of challenges. Yeah. You know, that's going to be much harder for people to get foreclosed on. The government doesn't want that.